FGOTY, the Field Guide Association of Southern Africa, is proud to present the Safari Guide of the Year 2022. My name is David Batsoffen, and together with FGOTY, I present In Conversation With. And today we are chatting to one of the sponsors of this event, that's the Kruger Canyon News, and joining me to talk about it and their involvement is Mark Bishop, who is the current editor and the owner of the newspaper. Mark, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, David.
It's good to see you sitting all the way up in Hoedspruit, I believe. Is it raining in Hoedspruit today?
It rained for the whole weekend. We had 24 hours of rain yesterday. It is saturated, which is great because I don't think we had as much rain as we wanted in summer. And it's cold, believe it or not.
Yeah, but cold in Hoedspruit is like 36. Not cold like in Joburg, which is 7 degrees this morning.
Yeah, no, it's about 19, I think.
Okay. Mark, firstly, let's talk about Kruger Canyon News. You took over, what, just over a year ago, took over the newspaper.
Yes.
Talk me where it was, where it is now, and then we'll look at your involvement in Safari Guide of the Year.
Okay, so the Kruger Canyon News is basically a community paper situated in Hoedspruit, South Africa. We service the whole community here. And in fact, when we took over, we decided that we would rather service the whole biosphere. And the biosphere is huge. It is from Zanin in the north, right down to Graskop in the south, from right over to the Lebombo Mountains.
Right.
And so we also took a decision when we took over the paper that, albeit that it is a community paper, we would like to bias our reporting to nature, conservation, wildlife, that sort of stuff. Right. So that's what we've done. We've had it a year. We've rebranded it. We've become a more SGOTY paper. We're now a 16-pager. Wow. And we get contributions from all over the country, people that have written stories that if they're newsworthy, we publish. We like to publish the feel-good stories, but if it's to do with conservation and it's not a feel-good story, but it's newsworthy, then we'll publish that as well. So that's kind of what we do. And we come out once a month, publish once a month.
Last Friday of the month, if I remember correctly.
Last Friday of the month, we distribute in Hoedspruit, yeah, and it goes onto our website as well, yeah.
The interesting thing, Mark, is the fact that you guys have gone back to a print copy, which is wonderful. It's nice to have an actual copy in your hands that you can pick up at a street corner or at the Pick and Pay in Hoedspruit. And then for those who don't live in town, they can get it online as a digital edition.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So our research showed us that Hoedspruit, being the frontier town that it is not quite geared for the digital version, sadly, because printing is costly. Yeah. But it is. I agree with you. It is nice to sit over a cup of coffee with a tabloid newspaper and read it rather than going onto your device, which we spend far too much time anyway. Yeah.
Now, this is the second year that K2C has been involved in Safari Guide of the Year. What category are you sponsoring this year, and what will you be looking for?
I lost you just for a second. Sure. What category am I sponsoring?
What category, and what are you looking for when it comes to a winner in this category?
Okay, so like last year, we sponsored the storytelling category, which I think is relevant. What we like to try and find is someone that can tell a story that can bring an experience almost to be livable by the people listening to the story around the fire. They need to feel it almost. Yeah. So that's what we're kind of looking for. We're looking for something that is of interest, has a touch of humor possibly, and is presented in a very fluid and easy manner. That's kind of what we're looking for. And originality, of course. I don't want to hear stories that I've heard 1,000 times different versions. Yes.
Yeah. I seem to remember that last year, Mike Carantonis, who was one of the judges last year and is again this year, told a story that involved a python. And when we went
Correct.
out on drive the next morning, Suavar, there was a python in the road. I don't know if he set it
Correct.
up, that he thought, all right, look, I've told the story about a python, I better leave one in the road so people can think I'm clever at this. But it certainly
Yes.
was a novel way of sort of finishing off the story.
Yes.
May I ask, Mark, what the prize will be for the winner of the category?
We haven't quite made up our mind yet. We're looking at various options. So yeah, we're at that at the moment.
And if you were to offer some words of advice to the candidates, the 5 candidates, as to how they should prepare to enthrall, entertain, and inform you and the rest of us around the fire that night, what would those words be and why?
Sure. You're really putting me on the spot here, David Batsoffen.
So what I do, Mark.
I think that when you're telling a story around a fire, you need to be engaging. So make sure that you have eye contact with each and every single one of the people around the fire. Don't just concentrate on one person. Talk nice and slowly and clearly, and change the tone of your voice. You know, you don't just want to be monosyllabic throughout. And keep us excited and waiting in anticipation for the next sentence to come. I remember, if you remember, last year we had a wonderful story by Anthony Collett.
Yeah.
And he got to a point where he hesitated. He didn't just hesitate for a couple of seconds. I think he hesitated for a minute, and everybody was clutching onto what his next sentence would be. Okay, I'm not saying stop for a minute, but be clear, talk slowly, change the tone of your voice. And I think that Civilized last year did it very well. And,
he did indeed.
Hence the fact that he actually won the category. Yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff. Mark, look forward to seeing you in June. Thank you very much for coming on board once again as a sponsor. It's always good. I know for guys are sometimes battles to find sponsors on an annual basis. So it's great to have you guys, or to have Kruger Canyon back as a sponsor for this year's event. I'll see you in June, basically.
Thanks, David. Yeah, and very nice chatting to you, and look very forward to seeing you in June and sitting over an amber beverage or two next to the fire.
Great stuff. Mark Bishop, owner and editor of Kruger Canyon News, thanks very much for joining me this morning.